In my opinion, this right here is the #1 absolute best performance enhancement, improvement, whatever you want to call it, that you can ever put on your vehicle. What the heck is this thing?
And that's not the only upgrade going on this budget rally car. We've got 3 of them that you're going to want to see. But as future Ryan is about to find out, some of those upgrades are going to cause more harm than good.
Oh, yeah, that's...
And this is all part of a journey where I've had just 1 year to go from rally fan to competitive rally racer. With just sim racing, an old low-budget rally car, and a lot of help from my friends, we managed to win our class in our very first rally. Now we're aiming to win the whole championship, and our first national race is coming up in just a couple of weeks. But we have some serious work to do. How far can we take this? Hit the subscribe button, and let's find out together. Welcome to Season 2 of Ryan's Road to Rally.
3, 2, 1, go.
If we're gonna even have a chance at being competitive at a national level rally event, this old rally car is going to need 3 things. Better braking, better handling, and more power. So you know, it needs everything. Now, through having a sponsored ad in the first race day video, that unlocked just enough budget to properly cover one of those 3 upgrades, kind of cover the second, and for the third, we're just gonna cheap out on it and hope for the best, because that usually works out, right? Anyways, let's get this thing in the shop and go over the plan. Today we are building the downhill rally car. There are a couple things we know about this car. One, it has no power. We know that we can't beat people on the uphills in a drag race scenario. However, by making great notes with Chris, which we've been working on to hang on to as much momentum as possible, and anytime we're going downhill, we are probably more gripped up than most with the tires that we're running, the Michelin like full WRC spec tires. And now we are going to have incredible brakes on the car that will work super, super well. And all of that should add up to a car that if I'm doing my job right, well, both Chris and I are doing our job right, we should be able to absolutely haul and keep as much momentum as humanly possible. Yeah, we're not gonna win the drag races, but we'll still have a chance to do quite well.
Yep, we dumped most of the cash into this AP Racing front brake kit from Essex. Now, they gave me a deal on them, but it was still a huge investment. So why did I spend the money here?
It's crazy, like these have so much power supposedly, but like they're not huge.
Well, if you remember from my first rally, the stock brakes were seizing up and overheating. And that's during a winter rally.
Smell them brakes, boy. We gotta be careful.
Oh yeah, we're cooking. Ooh, yeah, it's ripe.
Oh, those brakes, man. I think I've got to dial it back a little.
Oh yeah?
These brakes should not be doing this.
Yeah.
So we knew something had to be done about that no matter what. And I could have gone with the usual Subaru 4-pot, 2-pot setup, but this AP Racing kit has some serious advantages over that option that I didn't realize. It's not so much about being able to brake really hard.
Slow, go.
It's about being able to brake really hard over and over and over again without overheating the system.
Slow, and go.
And this kit is supposed to destroy the Subaru 4-pots in that regard, which should eventually save me money on rotors, seals, and pads over time. But the most shocking part to me was the weight savings. Compared to the Subaru 4-pots and their stock rotors, I'm saving nearly 10 pounds of unsprung mass, half of which is rotating mass, and that's 10 pounds per corner. And with me doing everything possible to try and keep this light and nimble, I was pretty stoked about that.
Yeah.
Now, as you know, I like to work on my own cars as much as possible, but when it comes to something as important as brakes, I'm just gonna let the professionals who properly know what they're doing take care of it. So Alex from Vex Performance is tackling this install.
New brake lines. Oh man.
And as anyone who's ever been in the passenger seat of my rally car can attest to, I brake very, very late and very, very hard. And so far, I think that's been serving me pretty well, and I don't want to change it. But in order to do that, I need to really, really trust my brakes to know that they're gonna be there at full power at the very last moment. So I'm betting big, hoping that these brakes will do that for me. And truly, even if I were to upgrade to a faster car in the future, I can pop these brakes off this car and onto the next one and still not worry for one moment about performance. Or at least that's what it says on the tin. We'll find out. And the reality is that with this car, we will never outgrow these brakes. Now what's extra tricky is that these high performance brake kits still have to fit underneath 15-inch rally wheels. And even though Essex sort of pre-grinds the calipers down to make sure that they fit, my really old Speedline wheels are more tight than most. So we had to do a little bit more grinding off the calipers to make them clear. Now, because we put so much budget into the front brakes, that also meant that we had to go for the more budget option for the rear brakes.
And we're just doing OE replacements for the back. We just need brakes that work. We don't need super fancy brakes for the back. Already has vented rotors. So yeah, new calipers and carriers should be all right. That'll do. Single piston, baby. That is gross. Wow, okay.
And as any GC8 owner knows, getting the rear discs off can be a little bit of a hassle. Or maybe a little bit more than a little bit of a hassle.
These rear brakes, man.
All right, upgrade number 1, done. And now it's on to number 2, which is one I've been looking forward to the very, very most.
This is a stock steering column out of my 1995 Subaru Impreza L. This is dangerous in a rally scenario, if you ask me. This, combined with the steering rack that I have, equates to 3 full turns lock to lock, or 1080 degrees. When you're breaking traction on purpose and you're sliding sideways and you're at opposite lock, having to make that many turns as fast as you need to in rally, it becomes almost impossible with this kind of scenario. So you can get a quick rack system in your car, but none of the quick racks I found were quick enough for me. And that is where a steering quickener comes in. This right here is a house steering quickener. It is a 1.5 times quickener. So when I turn this on this side where the steering wheel goes, it equates to 1.5 times faster turn on this side. We are removing one entire rotation out of the steering, and that's gonna be an absolute game changer.
Forceful precision. Ah, see, there we go.
Bigger bar is always the answer.
Bigger is always better.
Take it easy, pal. So normally you would buy the quickener separately and do some fabrication to weld it into that steering column. But with little time and Vex's main fabricator, Jason, out of town at the moment, we decided to go with a prefab option that was already put together and welded up as one steering column unit. Now, unfortunately, the bushing that goes for the firewall was the wrong size. It was too small. But the company that makes this kit sent a new one right away. We just wouldn't have it in time for the rally. So Vex got to work solving problems as always and got it sorted.
2 turns. That is so nice.
Nothing feels binding?
It kind of like, yes, there is a little bit. But I think once the power steering pump is on, I don't think I would notice.
So this is really, really frustrating. The wheel felt brutal, really, really bindy. But where was it coming from? Was it from a bad fabrication job where the quickener isn't in line with the rest of the column? Maybe, but we weren't 100% sure.
The steering wheel is like, the steering feel is crazy, man. Like, so notchy. Like, it's hard to understand. It's hard to describe how not good that is. Keep in mind, it's already Monday.
Yeah.
End of day Monday. Oh boy.
It was a pretty scary moment trying to diagnose this because if things weren't in alignment, there'd be nothing we can do. But fortunately, as it turns out, it was the linkage between the steering column and the rack itself. There was some binding in the coupler, and Alex and Ryan from Vex dove in to, yet again, find a solution.
Oh! Oh! Oh, it's so much better! Guys!
Those guys are absolute champs.
You guys are good. What did you do? Oh, no way. The dream of being able to confidently just, again, chuck that car sideways into corners, like before the corner, and know that I'll just be able to handle it however it needs to be handled through it. Oh, that is going to be amazing, and I can't wait. Okay, power. We need to add more power to the engine however we can, but the problem is that with pretty much all the budget spent on the brakes and that steering quickener setup, no, all of the budget spent on brakes and the steering quickener setup, we don't have the time nor the resources to do a proper power upgrade on the car. And with the restrictions that we have from the CRC rulebook, our hands are kind of tied unless we go fully all in. And yeah, we don't have the time or the budget. And that includes, like, you know, even things like upgrading the turbo. It has to be the OEM turbo for that engine. And in this case, unfortunately, that engine is from 1991 and it is a turbo called a VF11 and it's about that big. And with it being an engine from 1991, we can't talk to this engine. You can't just plug it into a laptop and move some values around. That's not how it works with this old of an engine. So we could put a standalone ECU into this, but honestly, it's not necessarily worth doing for an engine like this. Or we could do a full engine swap. That's an impossible thing to do before this rally. But I was thinking about it the other day, and the one thing that we can do just to try and help out the smallest, tiniest little amount is to just up the boost a little bit. We're just gonna turn it up until something breaks and then turn it back down a little bit. I'm just kidding. But, well, actually maybe not, who knows? I think stock boost from the turbocharger in this engine is like 7.8 PSI or something like that. It's just below 8 PSI. And that is the amount of forced induction, forced air that turbocharger is shoving into the engine. And if I put in a manual boost controller, maybe we could just turn it up to like 9.5, something like that. We don't want to go too much further because we might go into fuel cut issues or engine blowing up issues. And when you add more air, then the engine's got to add more fuel, and that creates just more heat and more pressure and all that kind of stuff. And we have a terrible cooling system on this engine right now. So we have to be really, really careful. But I think that it's worth a try to give us like maybe 5, 10 extra horsepower tops kind of thing. I know that there's lots of climbing that has to be done in this rally, so I'll take whatever I can get.
Crest Titans 2. Is your left 6? Come on. Yeah. And left 4 over Crest Titans 250.
And I should mention that the guys at Vex Performance were pretty hesitant about this whole thing. They're like, it's not a great idea, but like if you really, really, really want to try this out, you know, they have this like used Grimspeed boost controller. This is all it is. This is just like a little air valve that tells the system when to open up the wastegate for the turbo, and the wastegate is basically where the excess pressure goes once it builds up to be more than what you want. Let's put this in the car and see what happens.
That wasn't me. Oh, no. Yikes. Oh, yeah, that's still doing it. That's not good.
We had to check engine light, fuel was being abruptly cut, and things were just running like crap. But as it turns out, the fuel pump decided to just leave the chat all of a sudden. You know, what the heck? I guess it's better than it happening on a rally stage, but still. So we changed that, and while it helped a lot, the engine still wasn't happy.
Okay, so that was frustrating, but we got it figured out. The old engine management software still needed to see that there was a factory boost controller still connected to the system. So all we had to do was zip tie that old OEM unit back underneath the hood and just clip the connector in, and the engine was happy again. The engine's running as well as can be expected. The brakes feel amazing. The steering is awesome. And now it is time to go into phase 2 of our final prep for PFR. We are getting down to the absolute wire. And yeah, some of this filming is a little bit out of sync. And in this moment, you can actually already see one of the upgrades that we're about to put into it in the next video. But we've got a whole bunch of really cool upgrades that we're putting in, including completely changing the look of this old Subaru rally car. The car is gonna look unbelievable. And once that's done, we are hitting the road to Merritt, British Columbia, Canada, and our first national rally begins.
5 Titans 4 over Crest Pinch.
There's gonna be so much competition there, and such high level competition. It's gonna be a fight all the way through. I cannot wait. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see where this journey goes. And if you want to support the channel, the best way to do that is to become a Patreon member. You can do that in the links below in the description and the pinned comment. There's even an option to get your name on the side of the car, which is pretty sick. All right, time to get back to work on this thing. We'll see you on the next one.